Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Collection Mania Monday and we have a new pencils to play with. Well, they're not really new, but they're a part of my collection and we are still in the P's. So we are currently going to be looking at the Posca pencils. This is a Uni Mitsubishi product, and as you all know and love the Posca pens, this is the Posca pencils. So we'll be looking at those. So it comes in a nice hard case. I'm going to keep them in this case because I like it. Um, and it does keep them separated quite well in little sets of 12. They are marked with the Uni Posca pencil as well as the Mitsubishi Pencil Company. Now, when I first got these and was first using them to do my first set of swatches and the first coloring and that sort of thing, I thought they had no numbers or names or anything on the pencil. On the back of the packaging, it does give you a color chart, and it's like, how do you know that what those are? Well, I'm silly because the number is on the back end of the pencil. So I am never going to lose that number due to sharpening because it's right there at the very bottom, which is really cool. I thought that was cool anyway. Let's see if I can show you better on this one. Nope. This one? Maybe. There you go. So the number for all of these pencils is on the bottom of the pencil so that you won't ever have to worry about finding them, which is really, really cool. So each tray holds 12 pencils. There's 3 trays in this set. There is only 36 colored pencils in the Posca pencil set. I have tried to find more and a larger set because they are really nice. But the largest set I can find is the 36 set. Now, there is more than enough colors in this set to do any coloring page. However, you know me. I like having lots and lots of choices. Sometimes I get lazy with my color mixing, and I really don't want to mix a color. I want the color to be there. And that's why I like big sets. I cannot lie. But this is a lovely set, even though it is a bit smaller than something that I would normally use. It is still a lovely set. And the pencils are just dreamy. So we're going to take a look at the swatch. Now you'll notice that my swatches are a bit different because I have created my own swatch sheets. If you are a member, paid member of the channel and are supporting me with your membership, these are all listed in the members file. So you have access to all of the swatch charts that I have created from 24 up to 520. I've been busy. So what I've done is I've taken, of course, my logo, and then I've added some places that you can color and test out your pencils, of course, your media and your brand, and then, of course, your swatch. Now I've left this blank and open for anybody that wants to either put names or numbers on the larger swatches, because of the fact that I wanted it to have all of the swatches on one page. Of course, the space between the lines is, gets smaller and smaller and smaller as you get larger and larger in the numbers on the swatch. So this one here is, oop, there goes my pen. This one here is a 120. Still plenty of room to put your color numbers under the color. You might not be able to get a color name under here unless you write really, really small, but I do find that I am able to get all of the color numbers under each little swatch. And that's pretty much all I need in that, and the arrangement. Because I try to put all my pencils back in order in their bag to my swatch. So I can just look at a swatch and go, okay, that's number 5 in, and go number 5 in, and there it is. So I'm going to switch on over to the close-up so we can take a look at some of these colors. So we have a really normal color there, white, and then a beautiful light yellow there, and then a yellow, a dark yellow, orange, a dark orange, and well, an orangey, a medium orange, and a darker vermilion type red orange. And then we go into our dark reds and our brownish red there. And then we have pink. This is more of a salmon color here. And then a pink and a light purple. I'm running out of room. And then we have our magenta type of colors here, our red purples here, and then we go into our blues. It does have a really nice selection of blues. And then it goes into some aquatic colors here, and then into our greens. It has a fantastic selection of greens. And then our browns and our peachy type of skin tone color, light skin tone color, into our light browns, into our darker browns. This one here should be over here, but as you can see with the scratch out of the numbers, I messed up. So this one here should be before this one here should be where this one is. But because I messed up, it is not. And I will probably go through and redo the swatch and correct it. I just was really tired by the time I got this done. Then of course we have our light gray, our medium gray, our dark gray, and then black. And as you can see with that black, it covers really well with a heavy hand. So on the swatch charts, I have implemented and put different little coloring areas so you can color the pencils and test how they lay down and everything else right on the page. Another thing that I have put on some of the coloring pages, on some of the swatch charts, I should say, for new pencils, is I also have put in a little spot at the bottom of each swatch that says yes or no. And what that's for is to tell for me to list whether or not they're scratchy, because I don't like scratchy. These don't seem to smudge. Well, maybe a little tiny bit. Yeah, the darker colors smudge a little bit. They are a little dusty, so make sure that you have your brush handy. So we're going to color this one here. And we're going to take a look at the pencils. Well, we'll see how far we get with it, because we might color more than that. So I'm going to grab, what color? See, that's the great thing about this. I'm going to grab one out of the second row here, and I'm going to use number 35, which is, what color is that? Mauve or mauve. And grab some mauve, and I'm just going to do down here at the tip, and these smush together just like Prismas. Well, I can't say just like Prismas. They smush together similar to the Prisma smush. They are a little bit of a firm pencil, so you can get a little bit more length of time out of your tips. Now I'm just going through and doing the shadowy areas and the tip areas down here. those areas that we're going to shadow in. Movement in the flower petals. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Thankfully, I am feeling a lot better, so I'm not quite as sniffly today. Thank goodness. I really hate being sniffly. It makes breathing really difficult. Makes sleeping really difficult. And of course, I want y'all to make sure that you ring the bell for the Julia in July Colorathon. Make sure that you check out the schedule and go to everybody's scheduled time, and if you can't make it to one, that's fine. Just make sure that you make it to a few of them, because yeah, they have a lot of really good YouTube artists going to be participating in it, and it's really cool. I was so tickled when they asked me to join. It was like, yeah, I have Julia's books. I like Julia. I like her books. I think her art is just adorable. So yeah, that will be on Friday morning at 10 a.m. will be my stream, and right after me, of course, is Shell Artie, and right before me is True Hugh Angela. So make sure that you go in and take a look at all of them as well. The Colorathon will be going pretty much all weekend. So on Saturday, for our normal Saturday color and chat, I'm actually going to cancel that one so that you can hang out and watch all of the Colorathon, because I will be. I want to watch the Colorathon. Isn't that horrible? Well, I just want everybody to support the wonderful YouTubers that are taking the time and doing the schedule and hanging out. I want this Colorathon to be extremely successful for Shell and um, Ashley, because it's Shell, Artie, and Ashley Colors are the two people that have put it together, and I appreciate all of their hard work, because it is hard work. I would like to do one myself at some point, but getting all of the people together um, has proven to be a little more difficult for me. I'm not sure if it's just because I'm a new YouTuber and a lot of people don't understand what I say sometimes. What I mean by what I say. Sometimes I just gotta explain myself better, because yeah, I have a tendency not to do it. Alright, so I'm using number 11, which is fuchsia. So we went in with the mauve, and now at the very, very, very darkest areas, I'm using the fuchsia. Into the mauve areas. Just to darken that up a little bit. Like so. Alright, now we're going to take our pink. And this is number 51, which is a light pink. And we're just going to go right into the mauve and the fuchsia. fuchsia, fuchsia, and just drag it out, move it all together, and just give it a squish. Cover up all the white spot and all that fun stuff. As you can see, it just covers so nicely and they are so smooth. It just glides on the paper. These are printed on, I think, 110 cardstock, which is a little bit smoother than I'm used to. But even with it being a little bit smoother, the pencils just move on it. So I don't mind one bit. I'm used to it having a little bit more of a tooth. But even with it being smoother, I'm still getting plenty of layers and getting the ability of showing what the pencils can do. And that's what the point of these pictures on the swatch sheet are, is just so that you can have a documented coloring with your swatch sheet to see how well those pencils do. So if something is a little choppy or not blending, like I'm not going to use a blender on this or anything like that. I'm just going to use the pencils because I want to leave it to show exactly what the pencils can do without any additions. So, sometimes you don't want to use a blender pencil. Sometimes the paper is no good for blender pencils. So you need to take a look and see what the pencils can do on their own. Sometimes it'll take a little bit more work if you're using a different type of cardstock or if you're using Amazon paper, that sort of thing. But with having the colors on the swatch chart, I find that it's going to make things easier for me to say, okay, those color really pretty. I want that color and that color and that color. And because I color a lot of florals and a lot of bugs like butterflies and ladybugs, I wanted to put the florals on here. Just because that's one of the many things that I color the most of. Another one is people, because I really actually enjoy coloring people. I don't know if I'm as good at it as I'd like to be, but I do enjoy coloring a face. Okay, so as you can see with the pink, the light pink, it's blended right into that darker fuchsia and mauve. And there we go for that. Now I want to add just a touch, just a slight touch of a lighter tone in the areas that I think the light's going to hit. So I'm using light orange. No. Yeah, light orange, number 54, which is a very, very pale peachy color. And I'm just putting it on the very tips where I think in the open spaces that I think the light is going to be hitting, just to give it a little bit of a yellowed or a little bit of a peachy tone. I like that look. Now you can do this with cream as well. and give it a slightly more yellow look. But I wanted to maintain that pink coloring. I want that pink undertone. Alright, now I'm going to take a yellow and we're going to go with number 2, I do believe, which is just straight yellow. And we're going to do the center area here. And then we're going to start with our greens. And I'm going to start with number 18, which is on the third row. Number 77 is a little bit too red, or a little bit too bluey. So we're just going to go up into the floral or the leaves and put in our shadow areas. I have a tendency, I find, with smoother pencils, because I can't feel the tooth of the paper under them. I have a tendency to press a little bit harder than I should. And I think that's probably what my problem is with Prismas, is they are really smooth, and I put more pressure on them than I should, which causes them to look a little waxy, a little more like a crayon, not a pencil. Sometimes I get really good results with them, like the geisha girl that I did. I was really happy with the way that turned out. Now we're going to use number 6, which is green. No overly invented colors, just green, dark green, yellow green. Now, as you can see, I'm working from dark to light. And with these pencils, it's perfectly fine because they do seem to blend together really well and enhance each other, which is fantastic. It doesn't seem to mute them out or anything like that. It just blends them together nicely. And hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. I know that you guys can't see the green very well because for some reason my camera hates green. Alright. And I've colored a few of these because I'm redoing my entire swatch book. So I have colored quite a few of these pictures already with different pencils. And I'm not bored of it yet. So, but however, I may go through and purchase some other pictures to put on here. The pictures I have on here are purchased with my design studio software that I use to make the swatch charts. And because I have purchased the membership, I have access to all of these different little pictures, and I have license to use them. Some of them just being a member, and because there is a free membership, you still have access to some of them, but some of them are for paid members. I heard a rumor that now that they are a lot bigger than they used to be, the company that I do create these through, I heard a rumor that they may be going 100% paid for, so hopefully not, because I bet you they get a lot more people through the door with that free membership. Okay. There we go. Now I've just gone over all of it with number 52, which is fresh green. So I've refreshed it. So there is our little flower. Let's get my dusting brush here and dust it off. And I think I'm going to take a little bit of orange red, which is number 4, which is just listed as orange. It looks a little more reddy to me, but number 3 looks more orange to me, and I think that's tangerine. Just going to put that little bit in there. Then we're going to take number 15, which is red. Red, 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 red. And we're just going to go in and do the ladybug. And that's another thing I wanted. I didn't want anything on here color wise for coloring that was going to take a lot of time, because it takes a lot of time to swatch something, especially a large set. So you're not going to really want to deal with that swatch much longer. I know this from experience, because sometimes when I'm done swatching, I just want to put it in my swatch book and be done with it. But because I do a lot of my swatching on camera and that sort of thing, and because I do the little pictures, and I've run out of them. And I use somebody else's pictures. I use Joanna Bassford's pictures for that, or another lady that I use. I can't remember her name right off the top of my head, and I don't have her picture handy, so I can't look at it and tell you. I think it's I do have it here somewhere. My desk is just a complete and utter disaster area. There it is. Like I said, my desk is a complete and utter disaster area right now. I am going to need to clean my desk. So as you can see, these are the pictures that I usually use to color them. And they're very detailed, and I like that about them. These are done by Rita Berman, and I really enjoy the size of them. And if I can get permission from her to put them on my swatch charts, I will. But I don't want to put something on there that is licensed by somebody else. Just going in with the vermilion and just putting in a little bit of that in some of the darker areas. And then we're going to take our black and not drop it on the floor. And we're going to fill in his little head. Make sure to leave his eyes. And his little legs. Or hers. I don't know. I know there has to be male and female, but I don't really know how you tell. And there we have our little fella. Now I'm going to just take the, I think this one here is the darkest red I have, which is number 15, or the reddest red, I should say. And I'm just going to touch up all of those spots. And then I'm going to take the white and dull them, well, not even dull them down a little bit, put a little bit of a highlight in there. Now this is by no means a Prismacolor white. And another thing that I may put into my swatch charts is having the number 1 area, this one here, where the white goes in most sets at the start as a black square, so that when you print it off, it'll print that off as black, so you can test your whites. Always adding to it. There is our little bug, our bugaboo. Alright, now we're going to take our orange and we're just going to put in some orange into the butterfly wings. And then we're going to take the vermilion. We're going to add the vermilion. So I'm just doing this as a basic monarch with the yellows and the oranges and reds. And black. Now we're going to take yellow. And I know that looks a lot more red than orange, but once we go over it with the yellow, it will look a lot better. And I'm just going over, right over top of the red and the orange, lighten those up a little bit and brightening the coloring, blending them all together into one color. And then we're going to take our really light yellow here and we're just going to blend it all together. Make sure that we've got all of the white spot and everything covered up. And then we're going to go through and we're just going to color in those dots. I'm not too concerned about going over the black at this point. Because I'm going to take my black and fill that in. I'm going to sharpen this up a little bit because this is really small. And I need a point. So I'm just sharpening up the black pencil. And these are really thick cord pencils, so sometimes these little fiddly details can be a little bit difficult. So if you have a lot of really fine details, this may not be the best pencil for those, unless you can get them to a really tight point or thin point like I do. But even then it's still sometimes a little bit too thick. For what I wanted to do. So sometimes I just have to bite the bullet and do a mixed pencil set area. I don't like doing that, but sometimes you just gotta. So I'm just going through and re-adding the black and enhancing the black. Because I took some of it out with the creamy yellow color. And sometimes it's just good to go over top of some of the black and that the printer has put down and just make that stand out a little bit. Especially when it comes to separations on bug wings and stuff like that. Because it just makes it so much prettier. Alright, so there's our black. Now we're just going to take a bit of brown. And we're going to take this one here, which is number 21. I know this because I put it in the wrong space. And I'm going to do his buggy body. And I need that black again to do his legs. So as you can see, you can pretty much color. I don't know why he has 3 antennae, but with this small amount of pencils you can color pretty much everything. So I'm going to do the stick here. Let's see, I'm going to move this over for you. I'm going to move it over. Just one moment. There we go. Maybe. There we go. Alright, so that's better. So I'm just going to use the light brown. So this one is number 29, which is ash brown, as a base coat for this branch. And then I'm going to use number 23 to shadow the different areas of the branch. Now you could do this all in greens. I like doing it with some browns so that it looks like a tree branch. Alright, now we're going to start on our flowers. So we're going to take this one here, which is, I do believe, coral. Yes, coral pink, which is number 66. I'm just going to put in the shadowy type of areas. Like that. So as you can see, you can pretty much use almost the entirety of your color families and everything else on these additional little doodads. Another thing that you can do is, like I was doing before, of just keep an album or keep a sheet with your colored pencil set swatch of a small picture colored with the pencils. See, what I was doing before with things like Rita's picture and Joanna Bashford's pictures is I would put them all in a folder and put the color pencil names with them when I would swatch them, so that I knew what colored pencils go with what. Another thing I was thinking of doing before I decided to just make my own is I was thinking of cutting out those bits and adding them to the swatch chart in each album, because I have an album just full of swatch charts. Now I'm going over the edges of the coral with a little bit of tangerine, extending that into the flower petal, and just giving it that little bit of orange color. Now I'm not going right over top of the coral because I want that coral color to be prominent. So I'm just going right into it so that I can blend those two colors together. Just so it's just barely touching into it. And what that does is it just allows those two colors to become one color in those areas. Without a lot of fiddling. Alright, now what I'm going to take is a color we just used of the light peach or the light orange, and just going to blend into that orange color right down into the coral and give that a light touch on the end of the flowers. Now once again, you can do this with some yellow, you can do this with some cream. And add a bit of a yellow light to it. I think the peach gives it enough light source look. And as you can see, it just blends right in. Picks up any extra color and just moves it around a little bit, not a huge amount, but enough that it helps it blend. Okay, so we've done a pinky color flower and an orange color flower. So far, I'm going to do the buds here. Then we're going to do the greens once again, but this time I'm going to use just number 76, which is green tea, because there's not a lot of leaves on here, so it's just a little bit of green. I want it to blend into the browns a little bit. Now we're going to grab our yellow, and we're just going to give the centers a bit of yellow. The pollen sticks. And there we go. Now we've got enough time to do this other little beetle, the little bug. Oh, sounds like the neighbors having issues with their car. It's been going off a lot today. So I'm going to do this one green. Hopefully they can turn that off soon. It's making my eye twitch. There we go. So we're doing this beetle green, or this ladybug, or thought they had it. Then we're going to add a bit of this darker green here, which is number 7, which is khaki green. I guess I could have done him blue too. I've seen some purple ones and some blue ones. Mostly yellow and red though. Though I have seen a couple of green ones. Then we're going to take this light green and we're just going to give him some highlighted areas. And of course you guys can't see it very well, but it is there, I promise. And then we're going to take our black and do his little spotty things. Seam down his shell. And his little legs. And this is one of those things that I've been wanting to do for a while and just haven't gotten to doing it, in creating swatch charts that I want to use. I have come across some really good swatch chart books, so don't get me wrong. Patty Duffy has a really, really nice grayscale swatch chart book out there, and that's fantastic. I love that book. However, um, for my own use and the way that I use my swatch charts, I am finding that having them on multiple pages is a bit tiresome to me. It takes me way too long to find a color um, while I'm streaming. So having them all on one page is very useful for me in picking colors and getting those colors um, in my hand while I'm in a stream is a lot easier when there's only one page to look at. But don't get me wrong, there are some really nice swatch chart books out there. I'm just finding them to be more difficult for me to use, especially while I'm streaming. I really like Patty Duffy's grayscale swatch book. That's a really good one. If you haven't seen that, I did do a review of it on the previous channel, and that is in the videos below, or the videos in the channel. So if you just type in Patty Duffy swatch book, you should be able to come across the swatch books that she's put out. She has put out 3 of them now, and all of them are really good. Alright, so we've got some orange down on these lilies, and I'm going to take some yellow. And this one here is number 28, which is lemon yellow. And I'm going to put the lemon yellow down first because I want it to be more prominent of an undertone for the light orange. And I know that we just did that color combination over there, and I should have actually done these purple, but hindsight is 2020. When I see these lilies, I always think of tiger lilies. So that's what I'm coloring them as. Alright. Now we're going to take our light orange again, and we're just going to extend that orange a little bit up into the yellow. Without taking over the yellow. Now if you find that your dark orange is too light, you can definitely go over it a little bit with a darker orange and darken it up. Alright. And now I'm going to take the black. I'm trying not to be too uniform. Actually, this is not going to work, so I need my pen that dropped down. I'm just putting some random little dots in. Like that. Now we're going to take our darker yellow. We'll start over here. And we're just going to do up some of those. There we go. Now for our greens, we're going to take that dark green. Now this one I do want that bluey green color. So we're just going to start with the tips and the shadow areas with that blue-green color. Now it's more green than blue. So when we go over it with the other green, it's not going to turn too blue. You know how sometimes if you use the wrong green, it'll turn really blue. And then we're going to take this, which one's this, 76? Yeah, we're going to take some green tea and we're just going to fill it in. And then I'll put you over onto the main screen so you can see how it looks. I know I haven't used any blues or purples or anything like that, but we have used quite a few of the floral colors as well as some of the reds and bug colors. So we're going to switch on over to the main screen here, and hopefully you can see how that turned out. And the pencils did really well. There's no there wasn't a lot of dust. There was a little bit when I was doing multiple layers or pushing too hard on the pencil. There was no breakage. They're very smooth. They didn't scratch or anything such as that. And the colors are just absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to take, I think this one here, and just going to give it a little bit of a magenta on his wing area here. And as you can see, you can definitely layer more and more color on and build that color up. Or you can just smush them together. That's another thing that's really lovely about these pencils is they smush really nicely. So what I mean by smush, I'll show you on the back here. I'll switch you over to the close-up. Is if I want to take, this is the most easiest combination to see with, so it's the one I'm going to use, is a yellow, orange, and a red. So we have yellow, orange. Now this is a little bit more orange than red, so we'll use this one here instead. So yellow, orange, and red. I think that's the right one. Number 15. Yes, okay. So I'm going to start with the yellow. And I'm going to put down a heavy layer of yellow. And then I'm going to put down a heavy layer of orange into the yellow. And then we're going to put a heavy layer of the red into the orange. And as you can see, it just smushes together. Now you can go over it with the lightest color and just drag them out, spread them out a little bit, going the wrong way. Try to go from light to dark. I went the wrong way, but that's okay. You can see how it smushes it out. So yeah, that's what I mean by smush, because Prismacolors do the same thing. When you color with them, they will smush together. So let's grab the Prismacolor blender and see how they blend with those. And of course, I'm still going the wrong way, but there is a lot of color movement there, which is great. And they just become one. Now, if I was to go the other way, of course, it would have gone from yellow to orange to red instead of red to orange to yellowy orange. And even with the blender, they seem to work really nicely. So that is the Posca pencils in my collection. And of course, these are an Mitsubishi Uni pencil. And I do have a couple of different Mitsubishi Uni sets. So I've got the Posca, and I also have another set that I was sent, which is, let's see if I can get them out. Of course, I've got a whole bunch of stuff on top of this thing. There we go. This is a set that I was sent as a gift. It's a 24 count of the Mitsubishi pencils, and they're just lovely. These ones as well color very nicely, smush together very nicely. I also have the Mitsubishi Uni 100s in their little box as well. Let's see if these have... So these just say Mitsubishi colored pencils. It doesn't say anything on them other than that. It does... yeah, so it just says Mitsubishi colored pencils. So unlike some of the other pencils I have, they say Uni or Uni Posca. They do have colored numbers and names on these pencils in Chinese or Japanese. So in English and in Japanese. So that is another set of the Mitsubishi Unis that I have, or Mitsubishi pencils. I can't say they're Uni because they don't say Uni on them. And Uni, I think, is just the brand name for the Mitsubishi. There's Posca and a couple of other levels to their pencils, I do believe, or different types of pencils. I'm not positive. I know that the Posca pencils, these ones here, are an oil-based pencil. They're bright colors, easy blending, gives you an oil paint effect by blending and drawing lines with an oil medium, light resistant, that sort of thing. The other ones that I have I have the 100 count of are an oil wax blend, a synthetic oil and wax blend, and they are absolutely wonderful as well, and we will get to those later on in my collection. I have those up in the U section because of the Uni, because that's what I was told they were Uni pencils. So all right, guys, that is it for today. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Of course, remember to support the channel by hitting the like button. Leave me a comment of anything that you want to see in my collection. I will be going through the colored pencils, and then I will be going through markers and watercolors and stickles and all of that fun stuff, all in due time. I do have a few more colored pencil sets that I'm going to go through, and yeah, so I hope that you have enjoyed the videos. And if you do have a certain pencil request that you want to see that I have, let me know, and I will that I haven't already done on Collection Mania, and I will pull them out and give them a show. Um, if I've already done them, of course, they will be in the um, playlist for the Collection Mania Monday. It is listed under Monday. Okay, guys, other than that, thank you all very much for joining me. Of course, thank you all for subscribing to the channel. If you're not already a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. I do definitely appreciate it. Once we hit 1,500 subscribers, I know that's not very far away, so we will be having a little giveaway. So make sure that to celebrate that mile point, I will be giving away a special prize. If you want to join us over on Facebook, of course, you can definitely do so by hitting the link that's down below. Fill out the application form, and one of my moderators or myself will get you in there as quickly as possible. And don't forget, on Friday, starting Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we will be participating in a colorathon that is happening here on YouTube with several different YouTube artists. So please make sure you tune in. The information is in the community tab. Also, the information is on the listing that's already up. So make sure you ring the bell on that, and make sure that you take a look at all of the other YouTubers that will be participating and all of their times that they are going to be participating. Choose all of the ones that you want to watch, and make sure that you give as many of them your support as possible. Thank you very much, Shell Artie and Ashley Colors, for putting on this event and for all of the hard work that you have put into this. It is so appreciated, and you are both Wonder Women. Other than that, guys, remember to relax, color, and stay safe. Thank you all again for visiting, and I will see you tomorrow for Tips and Tricks Tuesday. Until then, bye bye for now.